But first, to make clear these two tangential lines, there are 4 moments that are of crucial importance. We are talking about processes, not about status. Whenever we talk about rights later on, whenever we talk about economics, we are talking about processuality. It's not I act and this is an action and that's it. It has its history, a short-term history, and it has a long-term history. I'm standing here now, I'm not standing in Ireland. I'm standing here now due to a kind of short-term history that Wendy had been in Cork and we had been talking, and from there the idea developed. And then I handed in application stuff, and it had been, I don't know how assessed and all these things. And at the same time, I'm standing here, this is a little bit longer history, I don't know when I studied something at the University of Bielefeld and somewhere else. About 15 years ago, I got in touch with some people in the Netherlands talking about social equality. So all has a little bit more. And of course, all this is linked to a longer history of European. This is a European project, although we are working now to include or to cooperate with Asian countries as well with Australia. It is something that has genuine origins in this European context. Mutuality. Anything we do has some aspects of mutuality. There is an exchange, although we should not think it in economic terms. There is an exchange happening, and this is something, whatever I give to you, you give something to me, even if it's only that you don't run away. I don't know why you don't do it. It may be just friendliness, it may be real interest, but at least this is part of mutuality. There is some kind of, I look into your eyes, I see if you're falling asleep or if you're getting terribly bored or whatsoever. It may be wrong interpretation, but mutuality. You find this in any social situation. You find it as well within this framework I mentioned before, that groups have something in mutuality, in mutual exchange with systems. There is some interaction taking place. And this is the third point, relationality. We have to be extremely careful talking about relationality. It's not about I have a relationship to you, I'm relating to you. But it is about this relation as such. I read recently something very interesting by, I don't know from where he is exactly, Sweden, somewhere Scandinavian guy, talking about relationality. It's not about this kind of relationship, but it's of individuals being isolated and entering a relationship, but it is something that is closely linked, where in this mutuality, in this permanent exchange, we make something together. Nothing without you, and you are nothing without me. Nothing meaning you are not that what you are at this stage. It may be positive, it may be negative. So we have to look at contradictions as well. I think this is important, and what we usually, or in many cases, don't want to talk about it. We want to externalize conflicts and say, well, we behave ourselves, we know how to behave, but the others don't behave. You see, crisis is as well something coming into play there. We have this problem of contradictions. Leave it outside and or leave it to individual misbehavior, and then we don't have to talk about contradictions. It's quite easy way. Blame others and don't say it's part of just a very ordinary process. Social behavior is not virtuous behavior. Social behavior is not something you are social. That's what we usually, or in many cases, we say, he's a very sociable person. This means He's very good in drinking, socializing, or he is very supportive to the next, he's very charitable, terms like this. We say the social is the outcome, I should know this by heart, I still don't know it by heart, is the outcome of the interaction between people, and they are constituted as actors. Mind this. It's not just people, it's not individuals, but they are actors in this process. And they're constructed in natural environment. I mentioned this going back to the oikos, to the household economy. It's the buildings we are living in. It's the environment, the natural environment that plays a role and that is always very important in terms of this process of interaction. With this in mind, its subject matter refers to people's productive and reproductive relationship. Going back to the economic process, the one thing is, of course, can you produce this? Will you manufacture it? But the wider thing is that with this, with producing this, with entering this process of production as a process as well of consumption, distribution, and exchange, we enter these social relationships and we reproduce them permanently in different ways. At least in principle, we have options there.